If you run a Shopify store or a Shopify brand and you're trying to drive performance through meta advertising and you're struggling with coming up with the right creative messaging or the way to come up with really good creative concepts, this video is for you. So what I'm going to walk you through is sort of the fundamentals behind what maybe you're missing, what you're looking at that you shouldn't be looking at, and what you should be looking at. Then I'm going to give you some insights into how you can learn more about this. This is just a free blog that I highly recommend to everyone. And then we're actually going to walk through an example. We're going to walk through an ad that I found. We're going to go into some AI prompts that you'll be able to download in the description below. And then we're actually going to look through and create some new headlines for these ads based on everything that you've learned here. So we'll be able to see what it is, learn more about it, and then how we can actually implement it straightforwardly. And that will help you be able to go from there and make ads yourself. So who am I? Why should you trust me? I have made brands well over 6 million, if not, I think I'm miscounting, closer to 10 million, but we'll stay conservative, say about 6 million over the past 7 years in e-commerce, mostly through meta advertising. I've taken brands from, this brand right here went from 10 to almost 30K a day. And about a year earlier, took them from 10K a month. And they ended up doing, in the course of about a year and a half, over $1 million in 1 month, which was awesome to see. We took this brand from essentially $0 to $1 million total in just under 4 months, which was a really fun experience to execute on. And then this one right here, I've been able to help a brand go from 1.5 million to 3.5. And this next year, we're expected to do over double that. So that is why you should trust me. Just being straightforward. And I want to share and not gatekeep anything about meta advertising, about e-commerce advertising in general. And more specifically, my favorite is creative psychology and deeply trying to understand the psyche and behavioral economics and why people buy. And I think that is highly under executed on in the e-commerce space. And just in general, if you watch this video, you'll be able to advertise in any domain way better than if you didn't watch this video. So that's what we're going to do in this. So first things first, I'm going to go through an example. This is an example from Sarah Levinger on LinkedIn. If you don't follow her, she is the creative psychologist queen. And I highly recommend reading as much of her stuff as you can, reading any of her book recommendations that she spits out, and follow her on LinkedIn or X. So in this post, this is the first half, this is the second half. We're talking about personas. We're talking about, oh my gosh, who's my target market, and where most people go wrong and where the people who do it right, what they actually look at. So we're going to start here. So Dave, poor Dave, man, he is 45. He lives in the suburbs. He makes 150K and he loves golf. All right. That's the general persona. And she talks here and says, okay, he's within our target market, right? Let's say we make golf shirts. And Dave also struggles with overheating while golfing and is looking for a new golf shirt. Okay. He's not consciously doing that necessarily. He's just in the market. So a lot of brands are going to go out and say, wow, stay cool, perfect your swing with a shirt made with 100% wicking cotton. That's not fundamentally wrong. There's nothing that's like bad about it in the sense of like, it's not bad, but it's not really going to make the sale. Any brand, especially brands competing from China, they can say exactly the same thing. Anybody can say that. So if we look at from a standard direct response perspective, you're just going to focus on the fabric, try a little bit of a problem match solution, offer a very technical, feature-based benefit. Well, what you want to do is actually look at his psychology. So Dave is not just hot. He's embarrassed. He's on the 8th hole with his boss or his new father-in-law, and he's the only one in the group who just keeps sweating. He has a damp collar. He really hates having to run to the bathroom every 10 minutes to splash water on his face. He's sloppy, distracted, and his competence is in question, which means he probably can't handle much else. Do you see how we were able to go from, Dave loves golf and he wants a new golf shirt, to he's incompetent and socially perceived as incompetent? We went from surface level feature all the way down to emotional mind state that is just his soul. And so that is what we want to be able to do in this video. I want to show you guys how to basically be able to go from those top level things all the way down to the depths of what someone is really thinking. Because there's a quote in the book, Breakthrough Advertising, that I think you should know and is great context for this, is that you should tap into the conversation that is going on inside someone's head. Okay, you can't create new marketing like demand. You're just simply tapping into and amplifying those feelings that they already have. And so we don't want to be looking for new concepts. We want to be looking at what are they already thinking and what is like the deep desire that they have that they won't even admit to themselves. When you can learn that and understand that, you're going to go really far with your advertising concept. So let's look at what she has to say here. So the win. I was debating on what to call this. I call this the fly on the wall context-based advertisements. And so Sarah here talks about the win. We want to market to the win we want to market to is actually the moment Dave realizes he's looking like a mess compared to the guys he's trying to impress. Hence the social incompetence. So if we just talk about wicking cotton and feeling socially incompetent, those two things don't match, and he's going to scroll. Instead, here's some really effective framing for Dave. So status protection. Don't be the guy looking for shade while everyone else is lining up their putt. Ooh, okay. Like that's really going to hit. Competence focus. Bro, it's not your fitness level, it's your gear. It justifies their failures and it alleviates their fears. Another one is professional level cool. Look as composed on the 18th hole as you did on the first. Who wouldn't want that? But that has nothing to do with moisture wicking fabric. Moisture wicking fabric is the mechanism to how you get there, and that's fine. But almost every clothing brand that's trying to be athletic apparel has that. So there's nothing different. But what is different here is that you're going to be the only brand that actually understands the consumer. And so understands them. They'll feel emotionally connected from an advertisement. Think about that. So I really like, definitely has helped lower CAC in a lot of different ways. So how can you get there? Obviously, this is a LinkedIn post that Sarah posted. How can you get to this point, right? Like, how are you going to be able to do this? So one blog that I recommend to everybody is to go read this right here. I'll link it down below. Go check it out in the description below. It says Your Ultimate Guide to Marketing to Mindstates. Read this entire blog. It's incredibly long. It is basically a summary of Will Leach's book, Marketing to Mindstates. And this is actually the mindstategroup.com. So I highly recommend going here to read about this. But basically, he talks about context. He talks about, we're going to go through context and then we're going to go through mind states. So he talks about context here as think about the location. Like, where are they deciding this? People behave differently in a church than in a bar. That's 100% true. As a Christian, that is an absolute fact that I have seen and observed. So where there's different social norms, like what is the scenario that they're in? Next is the people. Who are they around? What's going on? What's the social situational context that's happening? Feelings. Are they tired? Is it 5 a.m. in the morning or 5 p.m. in the evening? Fundamentally different mind states that they're, or not mind state, but a mindset that they are in of how they're feeling. And then the frame. This is one of the most important ones. So choice architecture, like what is the frame that they're in and how can we sort of get them out of the frame that is not buying oriented, and how can we turn that into a frame that is very motivated to purchase? So that's some of the core factors when it comes to context. But then what we have over here is the 18 total mind states. And this can go in line with the Life Force 8, if you've ever heard of that from Cashvertising book. But what this is these are the top 9 ways split into 2 categories. So when someone is in a mood to purchase, an emotional mood, we call that an emotional mind state. There's 9 core ones. There's one for achievement. They want autonomy. They want belonging, competence, empowerment, engagement, esteem, nurturance, and security. And I'm not going to go through all of these exactly. I'll talk about 3 of them here in a moment. But go through and click to the 18 mind state profiles, and you can read all about these. So this is going to do so much for your marketing abilities and your skill. You're just going to level up immediately. So then what happens is we have optimistic and cautious. So we have a lot of people who might be achievement oriented, but some of them are going to be optimistic achievement. Yes, go for it, grow to the next level, all this stuff. Or they may be cautious oriented. And so that's a complete opposite, which is don't fail, or like don't let this opportunity pass. That would be a cautious achievement versus optimistic is like, get the new thing, crush it, go out and make it happen. So there's the back and forth of, you can see the opposites. And so there's 2 versions of each of these 9 mind states. So let's remake an ad. Here's an ad that I found on Atria that I thought was kind of mid. I will say for CPG brands in particular, consumer packaged goods, such as supplements like this, sometimes just having a feature-based headline and the ingredients list and a picture of the product goes a long way. So don't discredit ads on the surface. It doesn't mean that they're bad, but I think that there's ways that we can make this way more powerful. So we're going to remake this ad. So go to get the prompt in the description. So I basically took everything from this blog right here and I turned it into a prompt to analyze the advertisement. Can't do video ads yet. You could probably do that in Google Studio AI. But if you have ChatGPT or Claude, upload the ad image that you have right there that you want to optimize or remake, and plug this prompt in and you'll get some really good outputs. So here are some of the outputs that we got. So the most likely environment for someone taking this mushroom-based focus pouch is going to be like at a home office, the workplace desk, the study environment, commuting, and that's also most likely where they're potentially on their phone. And so you can start to see already of like just going from, hey, you want to focus or you want to whatever, all the way down to like, where are they at? That's such a big thing that it's so simple, right? It's so simple. And yet it just gets totally missed all the time. So the next thing is like people, what are they doing? They're working independently. They're probably studying in a library. Maybe they're working remote. And so they're thinking about other people as well, which is super interesting. So I need to perform better than others, but they're working in isolation, not directly with the people. So that is really great context that we get to know. The feelings, primary feelings when it comes to this product: brain fog, low energy, mental fatigue, desire for focus. Their secondary feelings is that they're ambitious. They're curious about new cognitive tools, and they are health conscious, or health consciousness. Sorry. So the brain isn't operating at the level I want. I'm losing my edge. I'm not focused. Am I just falling off right now? And the last one is choice architecture. What's the frame that they're falling into that they are going to be coming from? Like what perspective, what approach? So the ad redefines categories replacement strategy for this ad in particular. Instead of saying buy a focus supplement, it's replace nicotine pouches with something better. That's the frame that they're coming to the ad with that's just sitting in their mind all day. So here is what you want to do is go through in ChatGPT or Claude or your AI of choice and just ask it to be a professional copywriter and write whatever you want. In this case, or have it write whatever you want. In this case, I opted for it to write me a new headline based on this ad. So instead of saying plant-powered focus, nicotine-free, okay, that's great. It's to the point. It's very features-oriented, but I think we can do better. So it was able to output and say, okay, what are the top 3 mind states of this product based on the analysis that it did, the mind state analysis it did? So the first one is optimistic achievement. They want to perform better. This is pro upwards and accomplishment. And so they want to perform better, work more efficiently. And it occurs under the context of beginning work, planning productivity, and trying to maximize output. So they want to feel momentum, clarity, and productivity. So the next one is cautious security. Especially when it comes to these pouches, I've seen a lot of marketing around how people are just wanting to get off Zyn, right? They want to get off the nicotine pouches. They don't want to be addicted to nicotine anymore, but they want an alternative that's going to fill the void in the meantime that they get off of the nicotine. So, or they can kind of replace it and try to get off the dependency of that. So they care about and are concerned about nicotine addiction. And so what they want is they want a safe alternative, right? They're not going to be like, yes, alternative. It's like, it's more of a cautious thing, right? Like you have something bad that you want to get away from. And so that's cautious. And they want security. They want to know that this is something that they're able to be secure in. Doesn't matter how macho of a man you are. If you're trying to get rid of an addiction that you feel out of control from, you're going to want to crave a little bit of security that you can still run your life in the way you want to. And the last one is optimistic autonomy. They want someone, this is someone who manages their brain intentionally. So an entrepreneur, a student, a knowledge worker, they care about self-optimization, and it's not purely self, deprecation. They're not really focused on that. They want to have high agency. They want to be agentic. I guess what a buzzword. They want to have high agency, and they want to be focused on controlling their life. So I'm going to walk through this one first, this one second, and then this one last. So let's look through the optimistic autonomy. So for this one, I had ChatGPT rewrite this and say, take control of your flow state. What that does is it repositions the location. So where they're at, okay, and the situational context of where they're at. Okay, I'm going to get in a flow state. That means I'm working on my computer. I'm working remote. Hence the scenario that they would be in. Instead of let's say that this was for people who are very earthy, that's going to be a fundamentally different thing of take control of your meditation sessions. That's a fundamentally different scenario that this person's going to be in. And with this optimistic autonomy, take control of your flow state. This is pro control, pro autonomy in your given context. And so that is a really good thing. And you could even replace an image right here of somebody who the Limitless, where he's got all this stuff going past him. That would be wow, okay, I'm taking back control of my life. That's a really big thing that you could do. So they aspire to feel disciplined, self-optimized, and independent from stimulants or unhealthy habits, such as taking Zins with nicotine in it. So that's one of the mind states, optimistic autonomy. 2 is cautious security. So what I had right here, and you have to be really careful with FDA claims. So this is probably not the best FDA approved headline, but we're going to run with it for now. It says, focus hard without depending on nicotine. It's get desired outcome without, so AKA against the bad thing that you're trying to get away from. So the consumer wants stimulants, but is worried about unhealthy dependencies like nicotine. They want a safer, cleaner way to stay focused and energized. And so with here, you could have something of you could have someone taking this and throwing away the Zins, or even a video ad where it's someone's slamming the Zins, or lighting a Zin on fire or something and taking this instead, because it's that's bad. Just the cognitive heuristic of that's bad, this is good. And so that's a way that you can and it's good and it's safe. That's a big thing. So that is number 2. That's the other one. The last one is optimistic achievement. So optimistic achievement being start work with maximum brain power. That is pro achievement, pro accomplishment, pro crushing it, right? And so the consumer wants to perform at a higher level mentally. They're entering work. They're about to get into a study session. They want momentum, focus. They want to feel sharp, and they want to feel ambitious, and to have maintenance of that ambition and a desire to maximize productivity. So this is very, maxing, pro focus maxing, if you want to call it that. Start work with maximum brain power. That's great. That's really good. So this was just one full example of what it looks like to go through and take a mediocre advertisement that is features based. Technically this could work. I'm not going to say it's not going to work, because I've been thoroughly surprised in the past by what does end up working, but we don't necessarily have the best psychological chance to be able to tap into that person's mind state and really emotionally resonate and make them feel like we understand them better than anybody else does, or any other competitor does, more specifically. What you can do instead of just an ad is you can take your reviews and run it through this mind state prompt. You can take your you can take reviews. You can take a lot of comments, especially TikTok comments. You can ask ChatGPT to run a Reddit and forum search, deep research inside of your niche or inside of your industry, and then have that and put that with a mind state prompt, and you can go from there. So that's a very easy way that you can extract that information really quickly. And again, I highly recommend reading this article in its entirety. I read the book, but the article is basically just a consolidated version of the book. The book is awesome too. But it's really going to help you level up very quickly of being able to apply behavioral science to your direct response advertising. And you can take this into sales copywriting as well, but for this video, we're going to stay with just meta advertising, direct response marketing, copy, and messaging. So that is that. So if you want to right now, I am opening up a school, and it is completely free right now as of March 5th, 2026. It may not stay that way for long, but we're already starting to get some people joining. And I have created a full meta ads playbook that you can do with the most up-to-date, that you can walk through the most up-to-date strategies on how to be able to, on how I've been able to get results like this consistently over the last 7 years. And especially with all the new meta updates that are in there. And then I'm also working on a creative psychology course as well that is just going to be more of this type of stuff, more practical, help you become a pragmatist when it comes to creative psychology, really deeply learning how to take the abstract arts of psychology, behavioral science, and turn it into meta advertisements that print money. So right now, it is completely free. It may not be in the future, but go check it out. I'm on there all day. You can ask me any questions you'd like because I just want to help people get results. And it's completely 100% free. So go check it out in the link down below. And if you have any questions, comment, or if you want to make any other videos, feel free to comment on this YouTube video or in the school. So I'll see you in the school. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.